Hello, world. What up, boxing fam? It's your boy Mac with Stay Ready Boxing TV, coming at you with some news you can use. And I got a guest with us today. We got Christopher Maclean, boxing manager extraordinaire. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, what's up, my man? How are you?
Man, I'm all right. All right, man. I appreciate you for joining me today,
Thank you for having me.
man. So I'm gonna start off with just a generic question, man. Just what got you into managing for the sport of boxing?
It was kind of a funny story. I always loved boxing growing up. We didn't really have much going on here in Colorado, so I couldn't really like get into it. So I played basketball. But then, like one day, Mike Alvarado, who's a really good friend of mine, we kind of grew up, wrestling in the same circles and whatnot. Because he was a big time wrestler back then. And I just hit him up one day. I was like, "Hey, man, I want to go to the boxing gym. Like, can we go?" It's like, "Can I go with you?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you like, I actually need a ride today. Come pick me up." It's like, cool. Could find out we live like just a couple minutes away from each other. So I picked him up, took him to the gym, and instead of just like jumping into like training and stuff like that, I was just watching him, and I just kind of it was just like enamored by like the coaching and everything that was going on. Meeting his manager and stuff, and I'm really the whole business aspect. The more I started to learn, it just kind of like fit with my personality really well. And I enjoyed helping out guys and stuff like that. So, and a lot of the guys gravitated towards me, as different guys would come into the gym, different professionals or amateurs and whatnot. So I just thought, hey, might as well go ahead and give this a shot. And here we are, about 8, 9 years later. Like I said, I just kind of fell into it. It just fell into my lap. It was crazy.
How many fighters do you have under you right now?
Um, Boxers, I got about six, and I have a couple of professional MMA fighters as well.
Okay, so you're managing this all around fight game.
Yeah, well, it was never. I didn't never intended to do with MMA fighters, but when we moved over to our new gym, the gym we've been at for about a year and a half now, um, it was predominantly an MMA gym. So I kind of mingled with some of the guys there. They seen kind of the work that I was doing with my boxers, and a few of them asked me if I would represent them as well. And the thing is, like, I just don't represent anybody. Like, I have to be able to click with you on a professional and a personal level. Like, you got to be like my brother, in a way, um, for me to represent you, because it's more than just a manager. Like, hey, here's a fight, give me my X amount of percentage, and that's that. Like, it doesn't work that way with me. I'm there every step of the way. I assist with training the fighters, as well as manage them, and like I said, and just being a brother, a big brother, little brother, just a friend all around.
Okay. And you say you're doing the manager and the kind of help with training, kind of like a Kenny Porter.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would definitely say I do a lot of that. Like with a couple of my guys as well, Savell, whom you've already met, and another one whom I've had for a long time, Manny Lopez. Literally every day I'm the one in the gym with them, grinding, as well as the head coach as well. I help with the boxing aspect, strength and conditioning, and everything. Because I'm pretty much a jack of all trades when it comes to
So when
you
you
know.
help and doing the training, do you ever do any corner work?
Yeah, I corner all my guys, all my guys.
Okay. So you're actually in there. You see something with their opponent, you're telling them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. And the thing with that is that not only do I manage my guys, help them find the fights, pick the fighters as well. I can do that as a manager and as a coach. So I see everything from the jump, and we do a lot of studying on the opponents, which is my job as well as the other coach's job. So we're always fully prepared, and I see everything.
Okay. So as far as the managing aspect, what do you do as far as the as helping them with their promotion and building
Literally,
their
literally everything. I mean, in today's society, a lot of things with social media. We do a lot of social media work. I help run their social media accounts. I obviously reach out to sponsors, promoters, other matchmakers, and things of that nature. Um, Keep them busy, keep them active, keep them relevant, keep their face out there, keep their names out there, and so forth.
okay. So that's and as far as right now, like I see Seville is already with last I checked, I think he was 4-1, right?
He's 3-1 currently.
3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's looking good. So what's the plans for your fighters in that aspect as far as them coming up and making a name for themselves?
Well, the biggest thing for me is activity. I definitely like to keep my guys active. Because as you know, Seville had the crazy knockout and the whole ordeal with the guy jumping out of the ring. As they say, you're only good
That
as
was
good as your
wild.
performance. But the thing with that is that the world star videos, the people talking about it and so forth, it'll die down in a few weeks, and then at that point you just become another face, another name, another nobody in a sense. So keeping my guys active and like I said, and keeping them out there is my biggest thing. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and so you're trying to do. I see, because that fight was shorter. You're gonna try to get him a fight like every couple of months, because that right now he's at that 4 round stage, huh? In
Yeah,
the
still.
early going of his career, so he hasn't even got to the like a 6 or 8 round or a 10 rounder. So are you trying to push for that now to get a better comp, or you're
Yeah,
gonna keep?
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's even crazier now too, because finding him opponents that'll accept fights after what had just previously happened is becoming a lot more tough.
Yeah,
um,
because
it's,
they don't want to
especially
take that.
locally. Especially locally, it's either that or these guys know they'll just price themselves out because they don't want to take the fight. It's just
Yeah,
easier for them to do that rather than just saying no.
he's a
Um,
high risk.
Absolutely, and I don't think when he took that fight with Sis Trunk, I don't think that they had any idea what they were in for. Most people don't. Most people didn't. When I didn't really know, in all honesty, everything that Seville had when I brought him in,
Yeah,
because he was with another coach for his first two professional fights. I had known of him. I knew him. He had came into the gym and got some work with a couple of my guys previously, before him and I had actually linked up. So he was elsewhere before he came over to me.
yeah. And I was because he's told me about some of his sparring. Like he's even told me that he sparred Adrian Broner. So that lets me know that he is getting known in the sport. So it is guys that do know him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's probably your most known fighter at this point.
Uh, Based off of what had previously happened, yeah, I would say so. It's either a toss up between him and my other guy, my main kid. His name is Manny Lopez.
Mhm.
He's a professional fighter of he's got 17, 16 professional fights so far.
Oh,
14, 2, and 1.
how long has he been? How long has he been professional?
Since 2012.
So 6 years, he had 17 fights. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, he's fought. When I met him, he originally started. He was in the same camp with Mike Alvarado and his team. And again, that's how I met him. Came in, we became good friends. And he kind of realized that I'm that dude when it comes to this. So he gave me an opportunity. Thank him and thank everybody else. And I've just ran with it so far. I mean, he's fought under the top rank banner 4 times. Um, Nationally known. He was on a boxing scholarship in Marquette, Michigan, under Al Mitchell.
Hmm.
So he's had a stellar amateur career. And he's definitely a very feared guy. He's a just like you said earlier, a high risk, low reward guy. So there's a lot of times he can't get fights because guys figure out who he is and they just like, no, we'll stay away from him.
And that's crazy. And like when he knocked that dude down, it wasn't like he completely knocked him out. It's just he made him quit. It wasn't so much as the power aspect. Old dude didn't have any heart. Kawan Sixstrong didn't have any heart. And I've actually watched some of his sparring tape, and this was before he got knocked out. I like to go around looking up guys, and
Mm-hmm.
I found Kawan, and I saw some of his sparring videos, and I'm like, he looked good, and then about a month or two later, I saw that pop up with Savon on Instagram. I mean, Savelle on Instagram. I'm like, wow.
you,
And
you
he
know,
just quit in the middle of the fight. I'm like, that's you don't got no heart.
yeah,
It's no.
absolutely
Why
no.
are you in the sport?
And I think it wasn't when Seville dropped him, it wasn't, he didn't clean him into the sense where he put him to sleep. But trust me, the kid hits hard enough to where like he'll literally make you rethink. And this is for anybody, whether you want to do this or not. Since he's been with me and with us, Coach Jacob Ramos at Genesis Training Center, every sparring that we've taken him to, anybody that he's been in the ring and sparred with, there's not been a person he hasn't dropped or made him be like, okay, we're done after like 2 rounds. There hasn't been one person.
Oh
So,
wow,
and again, I think that's another thing that's getting out there to where these guys are hearing about this, they know about it, so he just can't get fights. A lot of these guys are just saying, no, we don't want to fight him.
that's crazy. It's crazy. I figured he had some power though.
No,
I
the
didn't
kid's
deny
got
that.
crazy power, and he's a big kid too. I mean, that was his first cut down to 140. He didn't think he could. Well, he thought he could make. He knew he could make it, but he didn't think he could make it that easy and feel as good as he felt. Because all of his previous fights were at 147. But like I
Okay.
said, he's a big kid. He walks around real big. And then for the fact of him to get down to 140 and still carry that power with him, that's very scary.
Yeah, he told me he wanted to stay at 140 for a while and then move up to welterweight and try to make his way to welterweight. And
Yeah,
I think he's got a chance. Uh,
that's gonna be in a few years. He'll be stuck at 140 for a while.
yeah, I would love to see him work his way at 140 because I think he's a future champion as well. I think he's going to be something. Uh,
I agree,
I
and he's
think he's going to be big.
very marketable kid, very respectful, great heart, just great guy in general. And it's definitely the guys like that you root for.
Yeah, man. So what's your plans as far as your future plans with him and Manny? Two guys.
Well, I actually have a date for Seville, November 17th here in Denver. So that's when he's going to go again. Again, we're still opponent searching right now, trying to find somebody. And as far as Manny, I got a couple really, really, really big surprises that I'm working on for him. Um, I'll be able to put it out there now. I mean, his next date is in December. It will be actually in Texas. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
Yeah, let
Uh,
me know. Y'all have a fight in Texas. You
yeah,
said it's going to be when?
it'll be in December.
Yeah, let me know. I will try to make that. I will try to make arrangements to get there. Are you going to be in Dallas, Houston, El Paso, San Antonio,
Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi? That's about 4 hours away. So
Perfect.
I will
Yeah.
try to
So,
make that trip.
but there's a once we put pen to paper, I'll be able to release everything else that's actually going on with Manny. But definitely look forward to big, big, big news for him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do want to go to see him live. So switching over to the MMA side. So what's the I gotta what's the big difference as far as the political aspect is the two sports? Like I already know the fighting aspects, but what's the difference and the similarities with them that you're trying to manage both?
Um, the biggest difference to me is the people in it. I mean, we look at boxing and we see, you can make a lot of money in boxing. Why? It's not so much that the sport is as popular as it used to be, but it's because boxing has a rich history. With mixed martial arts, it's still a startup basically. I mean, it's really caught crazy fire in mainstream in the past year and a half, mainly because of Conor McGregor. Um, but the pay structure is completely different. The way they do the pay structure in MMA is you get a show purse and then a win purse. So
Okay.
you're not. So you're like, let's say we'll just throw like $10,000 out there. Okay, they're like, here's a $10,000 contract. You're like, okay, cool. You don't get your full 10,000 though. If when you show and you fight, you get at least half that. If you win, you get the other half. If you don't, then you're just stuck with the first half. Um, which sucks. I mean, in all honesty,
It really does.
yeah, it really does. That's one of the biggest things. And then as far as with sponsorships and things like that, depending on what promotion you're in, because obviously if you're in the UFC, they have a Reebok deal, so you can't get sponsors, you can't put them on your shorts, you can't carry your banners out like you used to, and so forth. Basically to hold up your end of the sponsorship, so they can get their marketing and publicity out of it. Um, so that's really the big things that separates it. Um, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, it's not much difference. I mean, they work their asses off. They got to work 10 times harder than the actual boxers do for sure.
Yeah, I see that. That's what kind of one of the reasons I don't watch it as much because they don't. It's not that they don't make as much money. It's just it's not. I don't have the same intensity as watching that as I do boxing because I grew up on boxing, and
Yeah.
it's so it seemed like you want to make MMA all no holds bars, but then you do have rules like you can't come from a 12 to 6 elbow. You can't do this. You can't do that. I've seen so many disqualifications. So if you like what you're saying, you might have a $10,000 purse, but only get $5,000, and you go in there and lose. You don't get the 5,000 because you might get disqualified.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, just the smallest thing. You might get caught in the. You might be beating the dude up, and then get caught the last 5 seconds, and the match is over. And you lose. You know,
Exactly.
anything can happen in
Cuts
boxing.
being stopped. Stopping the fight when it's an absolute war. At that point, those guys should be rewarded. They should be able to get their full purses, and get what they're worth. I mean, there's a few actually at our gym. We have a couple of guys that are in the UFC, and one of them, he's a very smart individual. He don't, he negotiated his purse, to my understanding, to where he don't get hit half and half. He gets everything fully guaranteed per fight. Obviously guys like that, they have to be worth it for the promotion to say, okay, we'll just pay you everything outright, per fight, rather than just giving you half and half. But it's definitely out there and it's being worked on. It's just going to take a while for that to change.
So as far as the money and boxing part go, how does that's one thing I always wonder for the professionals is as far as because I got a friend of mine, he's had like 12 professional fights, but he's still like I see him every day on a regular walking around. He makes his money off promoting clubs right now. So I know he's not making much money in a professional fight. So as far as the first few professional fights, like what is the purses look like? Does that depend on who you fight, or does that depend on the promoter? Because I know that if you're on a undercard, the main fighter pays all the undercard. So how does that part work?
Well, it just like it depends on the promoter. It depends on the fight. A lot of states, with some of these fighters, the only way some of the fighters get paid is off of ticket sales. And a lot of these fighters, who are up and coming, they don't have the name out there, even in their own state or own city, to sell X amount of thousands of dollars worth of tickets. You get $800 to $1,000, 1,200, whatever. But that's how a lot of them get their purses.
Okay,
And then with promoters, some of the promoters, they basically just pay off of rounds, and it differs per state. Like, let's say, for example, here in Colorado, it usually goes off of ranging around maybe 150 a round, depending on the type of numbers they feel you can bring in.
okay.
And it's like,
So
and again, a lot of it's based off of that. Plus, you know, uh, basically, if the promoters like you or not. If they like you and they want you around, of course they're gonna kick you a little extra than maybe what another promoter will, or so forth. Just to keep you with that promotion specifically.
yeah, even if you're not signed to them, but to keep you under them, so maybe later you giving them money, and maybe later they can.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like their investment without a contract,
Yeah,
like that
kind
handshake.
of like Golden Boy and Jaime McGill right now.
There you go. Perfect example of that. Exactly.
It's kind of going in and out. But yeah, hey, microphone. All right. And I actually got some questions in the
Okay.
chat right now. So we're gonna kind of shoot through these questions really quick.
All right. Let's do it.
First question I was asked is he able to disclose his who he managed? He did already battle rifle. Boxing, he would like to see Canelo face Andrade next, or the winner of Jacobs versus Derevyanchenko, and who wins?
I would like to see Boo Boo get the shot. Honestly, he's an avoided fighter. Nobody wants to fight him. As he just fought, he traveled overseas and won a title, and I think he deserves a shot at Canelo. Jacobs, I would like to see him rematch Golovkin personally, but that also, with Andre and Canelo, I would have to go with Canelo on that one though, for sure.
Honestly, I don't think a lot of people is ducking Demetrius. I think Demetrius done pulled out of so many fights. They don't want to deal with the mess that he had to deal with. Like when he was fit to fight Jamel Charlo, he pulled out of that fight, but then you come back the next fight that Jamel gets, and you go to his press conference and you call him out. But you just pulled out this fight, you know. And
Yeah,
when
no,
you
you're
have
right.
the,
You're absolutely right.
and I think that's the issue with Demetrius Andre. But if he gets back in the sport and stays active and not keep pulling out of fights, I think he'll get those fights. But right now, you can see his last night. He had. Did you watch the fight last night?
I did not catch the fight last night. No.
Uh, you have to go watch that fight. He looks. His opponent wasn't a good opponent, but he looked. You can tell he hasn't been in the ring in a while. His ring rust was just his balance was off. It wasn't an impressive fight. It was not an impressive fight. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, definitely have to check it out. But I mean, again, I'm just basing that as far as from what I previously know of Boo Boo and the type of fighter he is.
yeah, he's
Um,
a great fighter. I'm not gonna take nothing away from his fight. His abilities. He's a great boxer.
yeah. Either way, he ain't beat Canelo, unfortunately. So I
Yeah, I
would just
think.
like to see him get the crack, though.
Yeah. All right. And another question. He said, "Why does Charlo have to fight Triple G? Why does Charlo have to fight Triple G when he has already earned a mandatory?" Anyone agree? Oh, I think he's asking the whole chat. What do you think about that? Why do you think WBC mandated him to fight Triple G when he's already the mandatory for Canelo?
Politics, money,
Yeah,
basically.
same thing.
You
Same
know,
thing. I said.
it's a dirty game. Boxing is a very dirty game. It's never fair. It's never fair. You're never going to get what you want or what you've earned, unless you know somebody.
Know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Absolutely.
Battle Rifle asks, does he think most fighters aren't managed properly from what he has seen?
On a local level, absolutely, 100%. Um, Based off of higher levels and stuff like that. Yeah, I would. Because a lot of these managers and things like that, they'll do the same things that I do for my fighters. Like I'm not gonna put you in a stupid fight unless I feel you could win the fight. That's just and until you get to that point to where you need to take a fight that we're like, I don't know. But I'll always be confident in my guys. But yeah, on certain levels, it's a lot of the fighters aren't managed properly and the way they should be. I've seen it firsthand from with a few local managers out here in Denver. And across the board, but like I said, but I've also seen, amazing managers who do a great job. Like, Bomac, for example, Brian McIntyre, good friend of mine,
Yeah,
very amazing guy. He does a superb job, not only with Terrence, but a lot of his other guys as well. And he's been put in a position to where he can do pretty much anything in the boxing game right now. So you got to respect that. You have to, and I definitely admire that. He's definitely somebody that I look up to, and I get a lot of advice from. Um, when it comes to boxing, when it comes to managing and so forth.
okay. Yeah, I do like Bo Mac. He's a great trainer. He's a trainer and a manager. And
Yeah.
it's good. And I got another question. Boxing Ace News Central asks, do you think it's bad the zone is kind of forcing boxers to join their network to get fights?
No, I don't. I think it's just the way of the world these days. We seen that. We should have all seen that coming when the ESPN deal went down. Um, Everything's going to streaming services now. Actually, I knew a lot of that was going to start when professional wrestling, like the WWE,
Yeah.
they instead of doing pay-per-views anymore, they just wanted everybody to subscribe to their network, basically their online app for like $10 a month. And I mean, as you see, that's branched everywhere. You see it with ESPN, now you see it with the Zone. Um, Showtime says they're going to stay in boxing and still do pay-per-views and cards and stuff like that. They might for a little while, but it won't last. They'll go get right out of it, just like HBO did.
Yeah, I think so. I got too many streaming apps. I'm not gonna keep paying for it. I got
You're right about
Hulu,
that.
Netflix, ESPN Plus, Showtime, HBO. I, I I feel like I'm paying about $150 just on streaming services.
I hope you don't got cable then. You could be
Yeah,
saving the money off getting cable.
I got AT&T U version.
Okay. Yeah, see, and I just picked up the Zone too because one of my guys actually fights for Bellator MMA, and they're primarily going through the Zone now as well. So so now I got to stay up with that. So And then I'm cool that I already got it. Now the boxing's going over there too, so I'm winning.
Okay, so one of your fighters already signed with the Zone.
Yeah, well, he's a part of Bellator, and Bellator has a deal now with DAZN. All their fights are streamed through DAZN. So I'm sure that there's going to be more stuff worked out with DAZN actually when it comes to a lot of the fighters in these promotions.
Okay, I would like. I might have to talk to some of the MMA fighters too. Switch sports. I ain't gonna switch sports, but bring them on and talk to them so I can learn more about the MMA.
Yeah, definitely, man. I would definitely suggest that. It's crazy too because a lot of the MMA guys at our gym, they work with the boxers a lot. It's great for both sides, honestly. A really good friend of mine, the gentleman who does fight for Bellator as well, Brandon Gertz, and the guy's an absolute savage. He gets in there and he holds his own with these boxers, man. Like he wants to have some boxing fights. He wants to get in the ring and do it too. So, Conor McGregor kind of opened the door globally with MMA fighters going fighting boxing and back and forth and back and forth. So I think you're going to see that a lot now.
Well, Dillian White was a kickboxer.
Yes, he was.
And Michael Venom Page is boxing now. He's trying to be Manuel Augustus all over again.
Yeah, Michael Page is fighting hands though. It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about him.
We can do that. We ain't got to talk about him.
And we got some more questions for the chat. We got so I asked you about the Zone fighters, and King Diesel say, "Oh, bro, I appreciate the love. Stay ready. I'm on it, man. You good?" Battle Rifle says, "Can trainers be just as good as managers too?" Battle Rifle, he does both. He's the trainer and the manager, bro.
I definitely think you do need both though. I definitely think you need both. Like I do both, but it's not just me who does the training. I'm not the head trainer. We have, my guys have their head coach.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I definitely would never head. That's too much for the fighter to deal with, in my eyes personally. So yeah, I would always be definitely, again, like Bomac, for example. He's listed as the head trainer, but he has two other head trainers that do a lot of the training for Bud and the rest of their fighters as well. Again, another thing that I've definitely learned from him, you definitely need more than one, and not just a trainer who does the managing and vice versa.
Okay. So, and he asked, "Do you think the trainers should be just as good as the managers too?" So basically, he's saying, "Yeah, and you need both."
Yeah.
And you got another question. King Diesel asked, he said, how do you feel about EJ and Bud not trying to fight each other right now?"
I don't think it's the fact that they're not trying to fight each other. I just think there's a lot of hoops that have to get jumped through in order for the fight to be made. Unfortunately.
And from what he said on the interview last night, he said that Bob Arum is not in control anymore. But I just want to see the best fight the best. That's my whole point of even making my page, because I want to root for the fighters that's actually trying to fight each other, like Deontay Wilder, like the Cholos trying to come up and fight everybody, like Savel's trying to get his name known and build himself up, like Regis Prograis. I like fighters like that. They're trying to fight everybody in their path to be the best.
Regis isn't trying to fight everybody. Now that you said his name, I'm gonna throw that out there. He's cool, but I got a little beef with Regis. He ain't trying to fight everybody.
Okay, what's your beef with
Talks
Regis?
that big game. So I want to say, was it a year and a half ago, approximately? I was out in camp. Adrian Granados. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Adrian Granados. Real
Yeah, I know
good
who
friend of
Adrian
mine.
Granados is.
That's my
I've
guy.
actually watched him fight live.
Yeah, that's my guy. So I was out in camp with him in Chicago for the Adrian Broner fight. He got a call one day from a friend of his saying that Regis Prograis was at the gym talking shit. Adrian don't want to fight him, yada yada yada, whatever. So Adrian, went on social media and told him, like, bro, we could fight whenever. Like, I'll take the fight. Like, your guys don't want to take the fight. Regis, he said the right things about taking the fight, whatever. Lou DiBella got on Twitter. He got in the banter between the two, and Adrian's like, he sent him his manager's information. Apparently, they got in contact. They worked something out, but Regis didn't want to take the fight at the end of the day. He wouldn't fight Adrian, and yeah, I just think that's weak. So he's definitely not won't take any fight, not trying to fight anybody. He's got that little interim title now, and he
Well,
won't fight nobody. I mean, he's over fighting Flanagan.
he's in the World Boxing Series right now, so he
Yeah,
has to fight
yeah,
whoever's
but
in that series.
he's fighting Flanagan, of course, because he has to. He has no choice because he's got that title now. He's got
Yeah.
that interim title now. But as far as him trying to fight the best, to fight everybody, nah, he won't, and he won't unless he fights Jose Ramirez, who's the actual WBC champion.
Did Jose Ramirez join the World Boxing Series? I don't know.
No, he no need to. The World Boxing Series is basically to keep those guys busy. He's the title holder. Like, that's the man. If you want that title, you got to go beat him. Not no interim title. They gave Regis that interim title to keep him happy, just to keep his mouth shut for right now. And Lou DiBella helped with that. Like I said, I ain't got nothing personal against Regis, but I just he ain't about that life. He's seen Adrian in person. There's video out there. He's seen Adrian in person. They talked. They were cool. They were cordial. Obviously, it's boxing. It is what it is. But Adrian even told him, like, we'll fight. Like, let's fight. Let's do it. And Regis, yeah. He ain't gonna take no fight.
But we'll see. You manage Adrian Granados?
No, I do not. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I'm just really, really, really good friends with him, real close. He calls me when it comes to boxing shit, asks me my opinions, and I call him. It's the same thing. Said he's definitely a brother of mine, and I'm super, super, super close to him.
Okay, man, I would love to talk to him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I told you, he's definitely somebody I will get you in contact with. We'll make sure to get him on for sure.
Okay. I appreciate that, man.
Shout out, little bro, Adrian. Keep doing your thing, man. He's coming back real soon.
Yeah. Send him the link. Tell him to come watch the interview.
All right, I'll send it to him right now.
Yeah. And man, and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all come in, smash that like button. I appreciate everybody that's joining in today. What's up, Ronald Franklin? What's up, World Breaker? What's up, Kurt Sugar? What's up, Sheldon Holmes? King Diesel, Battle Rifle, Boxing Ace News Central, Boxing Head TV. What's going on, guys?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I had 8 people to 7 now, but I don't see no likes. But y'all go ahead and smash that like button one time. It's 8 people, should be 8 like. Well, 6 people now, should be 6 likes at least.
Make sure y'all smash that like button and y'all follow Stay Ready Boxing.
Yeah, man. So I got some more questions. Let me see what else I got. He said, "Do you think that Billy Joe Saunders should be banned for 2 years?"
It's a tough question. You've been seeing a lot of these, again, going back to MMA, you've been seeing a lot of these MMA fighters getting popped for performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, whatever, and some of the bans have been 2 years, some have been a year. You get off easy if you're John Jones. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't want him to see him gone for that long, because he's another guy who deserves those big fights. But
he does. I just hate cheats, me personally.
Of course. But you ain't cheating.
But if he come back and redeem himself and join VADA, don't get caught anymore, stays clean, I think it'll be a good redemption story. But I hate cheats. I ain't gonna say 2 years because they didn't make Canelo sit out 2 years.
Again.
Yeah.
Same thing with John Jones. They didn't make John Jones sit out long. He paid extra money on the side, and he's getting.
It seems like every time he come back and fight, he get caught right after the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think they bust him before the fight. They just wait till he fight to say something about it.
Yeah, because they definitely get the results back before the fight. But again, money talks.
Boxing Ace News Central also adds Flanagan is a good name. and he's trying to fight Josh Taylor in the finals. Prograis and Taylor is the number 140. What do you think? Who you think is number one at 140 right now?
Number one at 140 right now is Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Progress is obviously, he's the interim WBC champ. So I would definitely say he's up there, probably at number two.
What do you think about Josh Taylor?
Solid, very solid fighter. Very solid fighter. A lot of power. I just think that when Josh Taylor deals, with a guy who's gonna stand there right with him, stand right there with him, he's gonna realize it ain't gonna be that easy. And again, he'll find that out probably when he fights Regis.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that fight next weekend and for Josh Taylor's fight weekend after that.
You know who's somebody who's sneaking up at 140? I know he was a 35 pounder. I think he's fighting in that in the same tournament at 140 was Ryan Martin.
Ryan Martin, I heard that name before.
Yeah, that kid. That kid could definitely sneak up on some people for sure. He's huge for the weight class, very tall, very long, solid boxer. I know he was a 35 pounder. I believe he went up to 140 for that tournament though. But I do know he's in it. But he's definitely somebody who could sneak up for sure.
Right on. I'm gonna have to go look him up and look at some of his fight.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. He's solid. I believe he's with Tim Van Newhouse and with Triple G's promotion right now still.
Okay.
So he's definitely got some backing behind him for sure.
So back to questions about you being about management questions. Are you thinking about starting your own promotional company?
I've definitely thought about it. I think once I get pretty much Manny and Seville rolling to where I really want them to be, then I can definitely do something with that. I've always thought about it. It's definitely a dream of mine to actually do that. Not sure if I want to throw fights here in Colorado though, just for the simple fact that we would talk about boxing is a dirty game. Well, out here it's even worse. Everybody hates on everybody out here. Gyms don't get along, fighters don't get along because of managers, other gyms, other promotions. It gets real ugly out here. So I believe when I do it, I wanna take it on the road and maybe do it somewhere where you don't see a lot of boxing.
Man, I think you should try to go to places you can get a good crowd. Like
Absolutely. Yeah,
right
that
now,
too.
building a Mexican fan base is always great because anytime you go somewhere like here in Houston, they have a fight every Thursday and Friday on the east side of Houston. It's always a fight. If I want to go watch some of the locals upcoming pros, I can go to that side of town and watch them box. Dallas, it has a great fight fan base. Uh, I know I'm not gonna say Louisiana have, but I know they're building on their fight base. I seen a fight in Baton Rouge not too long ago. That it wasn't a professional, major professional fight, but it was a professional fight. It had a nice turnout. Arizona has nice turnouts.
Arizona,
Alabama,
yeah.
Atlanta with the black fans. It's a lot of black people that love the sport of boxing. And people don't push the black audience as much as they should. But
I agree, and that's the thing with here is like the fan base out here isn't what it should be. I mean, we have a lot of really good talent out here in Colorado. I just think other people, not to be named, managers, promoters, and so forth, they basically kind of shit on Colorado. So when you hear a fighter say he's from Denver, Colorado, they just think there's another tomato can. There's a guy that we can just use for a quick ass whooping and get a win. A lot of stuff like that. So we don't get a lot of the big time like managers and people like that out here, promoters out here to either throw shows or even to look to sign some of the talent that we do have. But that's definitely something I'm definitely striving to change for out here in Colorado for sure.
do you who was the biggest boxer that came out of Colorado?
Either Stevie Johnston, former WBC world champion, or Mike Alvarado.
I remember Mike Alvarado. That name, yeah. As soon as you said that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that Mike's a bad boy. Did you have to see his knockout last weekend on Crawford's undercard?
Actually, I didn't get to see his knockout on the undercard because I was in New Orleans last weekend.
Yeah,
Only fight I caught was the main card, but I did want to go back and watch those undercards.
yeah. Please watch that knockout. It's dirty. It's disgusting.
Yeah, definitely will. Definitely will.
He's definitely due for a big fight too, for sure. You know, he's been redeeming himself a lot. You know, once he cleaned up things in his life and whatever. But shout out to Mike. He's the whole reason I'm in boxing, so I always respect and love that guy.
Yeah.
Um, but he's definitely due for a big fight. I think he's going to get a big payday. He's going to get a big fight. He'll be back on the main card, probably in a main event. So shout out to Mike.
All right. And yeah, Ronald Finkley said, yeah, Michael Alvarado's a beast.
Yeah. Oh, he's an animal. Yeah. You should go back watch those fights with Brandon Rios. That's really all you need to see.
And hey, Jay Good said Wilder talked about that earlier in his career when he would say he's from Alabama, he would get laughed at.
It's the
And
same
that's
thing. Same thing out here, man. It's the same thing out here. Um, so and a perfect example of that, the night before Seville fought in Vegas on the Mayweather Promotions card, there was a showbox card on, and I believe it was the co-main event. There was a kid named I can't remember the kid's name he fought, but there was a Denver kid named Misael Lopez who fought. He fought one of I believe it was DeBella's guys on that show. Soon as the commentators figured out, he was from Denver, they started going through his record, talking about he's not prominent. Denver doesn't have much, this, that, and the third. And the kid went out there and put a performance on him. He beat the dog shit out of that other kid and still came away with a unanimous decision. So, like I said, we're going to sneak up on a lot of these people. They're going to think that just because they hear some of these fighters are from Colorado, that said they're going to be cans and stuff like that. But, it's a lot of that's going to change.
yeah. And I know Seville is from Phoenix, but he's getting his recognition in Colorado. Well, he's from Arizona, not. I don't know if he's from Phoenix. I can't remember, but I know he's from Arizona. But he said he's getting built up in Arizona. So
Who was that again? I'm sorry.
Seville,
Oh yeah. He was born there. He was pretty much raised out here in Denver, though. Um, the biggest thing with Seville from when I met him was he didn't really like the coach, the gentleman that he had. I've never heard of him personally. He was, just super raw talent. Was very uncoached. Didn't have a backing. I mean, he had a very, very, very limited amateur career. Which is okay. I mean, he doesn't have an amateur style. The kid hits too hard to fight like an amateur. He's not that kind of fighter. But he's very limited there. So, some people knew who he was from his two fights. But like I said, once he got with us, I brought him over to our gym. So Coach Jake is his head trainer now. He's with us. He's with Manny. He's with a lot of the MMA guys as well. A lot of the other boxers we have. Um, he's definitely been rising from there a lot. And again, after the last performance, everybody in Colorado knows who he is. I had people that I know from out of the country, hitting me up saying, "Well, like that's your guy." They seen me on the video too in the corner, and they were like, "Oh, Chris, this is you. That's your guy. Whatever. Oh yeah, what's his name? Let's look him up. Let's follow him. Yada yada yada." And so he's definitely on the rise, and here in Colorado especially. Again, that's why nobody wants to fight him here.
yeah. And see, when I seen that fight, I had to talk to him after I saw that fight. That was my first time even hearing of him. But that's what caught my eye on Seville. And I told him that after that day, I was going to be watching. Every time I heard about him having a fight, I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely make sure to keep you posted and let you know, when he fights again, where it's going to be. If there's a live stream, if it's on television, whatever. We'll definitely be sure to keep you in the loop.
So as far as some of these prospects that's coming up right now, who you have your eye on in the sport of boxing right now as far as the upcoming fighters?
I love Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, me too.
Big fan of Shakur. Big fan of Shakur for sure. Um,
What I don't like is when he's fighting and the commentators talking about they speak of him like he's a 13-year-old child because they talk about he has no power and this, then he'll knock somebody out. Oh, he's growing into a grown man body. No, you haven't been watching him like this.
exactly. He's a grown man now. I mean, the kid's 21. So they just look at that and they see the baby face and always got a smile on his face, whether he's in the ring or outside of the ring. But then once they see him get in there and do that work, then that's when they flip the script right away and they change their story.
Definitely.
But I'm a big fan of him. I really like Shakur. There's there's a few that, like I said, there's local kids that I'm very high on as well. Bomac even has a couple guys that I'm high on that could definitely win a world title one day for sure. I think the one I'm not high on, the prospect who gets a lot of pub that I don't think is all that great, is the what's the kid, the Ryan kid,
Ryan Garcia.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
I thought he was good at first until that last fight when he got really exposed. Like, even though he won, he got exposed pretty bad.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's all, even though I know styles make fights, it's all about how you recover from that fight. If he come after people watch that fight and he goes into his next fight, if he looked the same, I know he's not gonna be.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't feel that way about him if he didn't open up his mouth as much as he did.
That's the problem.
Because I mean, you're already calling out like Gervonta Davis and all these other guys. Like, come on, man! Like, you're not ready for that level yet. He actually had called out a friend of mine too, Hank Lundy, to fight Hank already, and that wouldn't be a good fight for Ryan. Ryan would get his ass whooped. He'd get exposed quick if he fights Hank.
Who is Hank? I never heard of him.
Hank Lundy?
Yeah.
He's from Philadelphia. He fought Terrence Crawford. He's fought for world title.
Yeah, you know what? Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hank, yes. Hank's a good dude, too. Great fighter. Can't get fights at 135. He's a 35-pounder, but he's a good fighter to watch for sure. Check him out, too.
All right, damn sure we. Hold on, we got some more questions in the chat. Let me see. They said Ronald Franklin said that's not good, starting out diminishing one's boxing because of the state you're in. Wilder has proven that theory null and void. King Diesel said, what's his views on Wilder versus Fury?
Good fight. Real good fight. I'm happy that both of them actually wanted to fight each other. I think my pick in that fight is Fury. I'm taking Tyson Fury. I think Fury's going to outbox him. I think he's going to outclass him. It's only one thing you got to look out for with Wilder, but I'm not hating on him because he's proven. I mean, he's 40-0 with 39 knockouts for a reason. But yeah. I just think that Fury's his boxing ability is just too crisp right now for Wilder, and I think he'll expose him on the night.
Yeah, man. This is exactly what I said. I said if it goes to decision, Fury wins, but I think Wilder's gonna knock him out. And everybody looks for that right, but y'all forget that he has power in his left too. Like, he has power in both hands, but all y'all see is the right. Go back and watch how he knocked out Malik Scott.
No, I agree. I agree, but it's sloppy. It's not technical. It's not technical. Like, we can try to break it down every which way, but it's not technical. But like I said, I'm a fan of Wilder for sure. But in that specific fight, like, I think if he fights Anthony Joshua, I think he knocks Joshua out clean.
I do too.
But with
Joshua
Fury,
don't have Joshua's defense is suspect to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's shown that he can be rattled.
Yeah.
But with Fury's just his skill is crazy. It's odd
so
to say
big
because he looks so sloppy and fat.
But unorthodox. His feet, to be so big, his footwork is like, man.
It's that of a lightweight.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, it's boxing, so all Wilder has to do is touch his chin. He's just got to clip his chin, and could definitely be lights out. But if I had to put my money on it, I'm definitely picking Fury.
All right. Next question was by Boxing Ace News. He said, who you think is the biggest paper champion or shithouse in boxing? That was a hell of a question.
It is, because, yeah. I mean, I'll answer it like with no remorse, because I don't care. Man. Maurice Hooker.
I gotta agree. Uh,
Maurice Hooker.
I forgot all about. I forgot he had a damn title. Yeah,
Yeah, he slid in and picked up one of the titles that Terrence vacated at
he
140.
has more draws than anybody I know in boxing.
That deserved to be losses for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, he
and won't fight anybody.
no, no, no,
And
no,
he's
no,
from my
no,
state, and that's what's irritating. Oh, that irritates me.
no.
'Cause I like the dude. I do. I really do like the dude, and he's from my state. He's from Dallas. He's from the state.
I actually pushed for a fight with him and Manny. I said I will take that fight for pennies right now, just because I know Manny would beat the dog shit out of Maurice.
Is Manny ranked?
No, he's not ranked. No.
Okay. Well, what's the process? What is the process you go through to get your fighters ranked
When
in any sanctioning bodies, or you just in boxing? Period.
basically it's winning the small titles, putting as many belts on the guys as possible, like the like an NABO junior or youth title or something like that, like the WBC Continental Americas, the silver title. Winning titles like that is what gets the guys ranked in the top 10, top
Okay.
15. We actually had a fight for an NABO Continental Americas title for Manny that we did accept, but they did back out of the fight. It was against their current champion, a kid named Logan Yoon, I believe. We were ready to go head out to Florida to take that fight, but again, I think they kind of caught wind of him and may have seen some video or something, but they came back to us and said never mind. And that was and there was a top 10 ranking on the line for that as well,
Okay.
but they backed out.
Damn. Has Manny lost any fights, or he's undefeated?
Yeah, he's got two. He's 14-2-1. And again, this is not bias, in the means, because I mean, pretty sure, as I'll give it to you straight as I can. Um, One of the losses, he lost to Cameron Crail,
Okay.
who is a Mayweather Promotions fighter. I mean, the kid has I think his record now is like 16-15.
Hmm.
But trust and believe, like, there's never been a more deceiving record you could ever find in boxing, because that kid can fight.
And you say
That
he's
kid can fight.
16, 15?
Yeah, he
Is
just
he,
beat
is
Jose
he chinny?
Borrego. I'm sorry?
Is he chinny? Like he glad?
No, he's not. I
Hmm.
just think the kid just has nights to where he just doesn't show up.
Oh,
Like, he just beat on the same. He main evented the card that Savell fought on, the Mayweather card. He fought Jose Borrego, who was 16-15-1, I believe.
okay.
And Borrego was ranked, and Grail just beat the dog shit out of him that night. It was easy. But the kid, yeah, like, that was Manny fought Cameron Crail on the Marquez Alvarado undercard at the Forum in LA. I gave the fight a draw personally, but it would end up being a majority decision loss for Manny. And then we took a shot on the road against Kevin Watts in California. Watts was undefeated. He was signed with Al Heyman. He had the Watson brothers in his corner, whatever.
Sam Watson.
Yeah, and so we went out there and beat him up for 8 rounds. Cut the kid, bloodied him up, bruised him up. Eye was swollen shut. Blah blah. Didn't get the decision, obviously. It was actually funny too, because the crowd went absolutely insane when they announced that decision. They were booing out. People were throwing ring, and we were in his home state. So they bought that one. But that was our fault for even letting it go to the judges and not finishing him off when we had the opportunity to.
That's the same thing I said about Demetrius last night. He should have finished that fight.
Yeah, but I mean, Manny's super talented, man. I mean, we spent I think the last time we spent 6 weeks in camp with Tim Bradley. Bradley brings him out. Last time he was there was for the Brandon Rios fight. He was there. He was out in Palms. We actually both were there for 6 weeks. So we spent time with Tim Bradley, Teddy Atlas, and so forth. He was the chief sparring partner for Mike Alvarado in his heyday when he was a world champion. When he was fighting Brandon Rios, Juan Manuel Marquez, and so forth. So that guy's definitely been in there with everybody. DeMarcus Corley, like I said, Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios, Tim Bradley, you name him. He's been in the Adrian Broner, Jamel Herring. He's been in the ring with a lot of these guys. Terrence Crawford.
That's that's a hell of a scoring record.
Yeah, crazy, right? And the kid holds his own. Like I said, he does his job. He doesn't go out there to try to kill these other guys. Like you get a lot of guys. We get guys that come to our gym and they want to come there to make a statement. So they just try to go crazy on whoever it is that they're sparring or fighting or whatever. With him, he goes out there, he does his job, does what he has to do, learns, gets better, and comes in. I'm pretty sure if he wanted to go extra hard on some of these guys, he could have, but he gets
Right.
his in. That's
Okay.
why there's definitely big things coming for that kid. So definitely keep your eye out for him.
And I am. And you said you're gonna keep me updated on them, so yeah.
Absolutely. When we're done, I'll send you. So I'll send you some fight video that I got. I'll send you some information and stuff so you can
Oh
keep.
man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna send me some fight video and I'll post some of it on my page as well.
Yeah, definitely. I got you. I'll do that.
All right. And Ronald Finkler says Devin Haney and Shakur seems legit. King Diesel say Ronald Finkler right, bro. No matter how the criticism, that man Wilder has proven himself to be a real boxing fan. To real boxing fan. Ronald Finkler also say the Bomac kid that you like us. Oh, the Bomac kid that you like us. That the one and only Terrence Crawford running up steps.
Say
Hey,
that.
Ronald, resend that one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that.
Yeah, have him resend that
Yeah,
one.
resend that one so I can put it together. I see Bomb Squad banging on there. Oh, banging over everything. We shall see. LOL. Mighty Mo gets no love. Nah, Maurice Hooker gets no love around here. I don't know.
It's warranted though, like that he doesn't. Let's just be honest. And it's nothing that he done personally. It's just what's happened in his career with his fights.
I tell you another paper champion. Ryota Murata, that's a paper champion. I always see that talking about paper champion. I'm glad he got his ass whooped last night.
Yeah, I did watch. I did watch some highlights from last night, so I agree with you on that one. Give me 1 second here.
All right, man. What's going on, guys? Man, I appreciate all y'all coming to the chat.
Um, I sent the chat to Adrian. He just hit me back. He said that he's gonna try to get on. He's in Mexico, so
Oh,
using the data and stuff like that's a little tough.
all right.
Is the camera back on?
Yeah, the camera's back on.
Okay, it said it shut off because the service went low, but okay,
All right.
perfect.
All right. And the next question, let me see what's going down. He said, I don't know. Only time Wilder went the distance was against a man he already knocked out, and because people criticize him for not being able to go the distance. Triple D, and that's Jay Good saying that's with one arm, partial, particularly when Ron Finkley says very cool live stream. Stay ready. Salute, Ron Finkley. Jay Good said, I think Fury gets dropped, then eventually stop, and they will never be an AJ fight as a result. What do you think about that? The Wilder and AJ situation.
I just think it's just a battle between the two. Each side is trying to get the upper hand, I think. But I do think it'll happen. I think Wilder will end up just saying, I don't know whether it be taking less money, not caring about going over to London or whatever. But I think Wilder will be the one to make it happen because he'll be the one willing to go over there. He'll be the one willing to take less money just to make the fight happen because he wants to prove a point.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn is trying to make big moves. So and he wants to keep his cash cow going because if AJ goes down, what does he have after that?
That's,
Nothing. Kell Brook, sorry, no.
he did. He don't even. Who was it? Well, he got Boo Boo Andre.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
That's
again,
about
just like you said, Boo Boo's he's got to take a fight or two to get himself back going again. So
yeah. He has to get back and fight for because he got a lot of ring rust on him.
yeah. See, so
Too.
there you go. I mean, you never but you never know though. I mean, some guys can just come out the woodworks and you know, make a big name. Who knows?
Hey, the chat asks, "What's your IG?"
It's so I'm gonna spell it out for you. It's both my last names. It's Maclean. It's Maclean. Mestis. Maestas. You want if
Yeah,
you want if you want to write that in the chat, do that. I'll send it to you right now, so you can write that in the chat just to post it on there.
okay. It's just like your email though, right?
Yeah, just like the email. There you go.
Okay.
I got stuck with both the parents' last names, so might as well rock it while I can.
Right. Hold on, I'm gonna put this in the chat so they can go follow you on IG.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
All right, there y'all go. And oh, he rewrote it. He said the Bomac kid that he likes. He said, "Is that the one that be on Terrence Crawford YouTube page and training camp?"
Is he, if he's referring to Steve Nelson, that's one of them. Yes, he's
Okay.
172, 168 pounder. Steve Nelson. He fights on pretty much on all of Terrence's undercards and stuff now. They're
Yeah.
still him up, but he's definitely there's two of them. It's him and a kid that they just signed a Golden Boy is Kevin Ventura. I like both of those kids that Bomac has.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Steve Nelson. I haven't seen any of his other prospects, but I do know he got a stable over there.
Yeah, and they got a huge stable. I mean, it's Nebraska. Ain't nothing else to do unless you're in that town but box. So you might as well step in the gym. But they got some good fighters over there for sure. And they always come out here, so I get to see them. That they hold their training camps in Colorado Springs, so I get to see
Okay.
them and check them out and stuff. Like I said, when I took Savell out there to spar with Jamel Herring, to help Jamel get ready for his fight, and then obviously Savell used that to get ready for his.
Okay. And you got oh, Ronald Franklin says he got Dillian White. Wow.
Over who? Over who?
He just talked about his fighters. His fighters. He laughed when he said it.
Okay. Does
Oh man.
it say over who? Yeah, he is. Isn't White fighting Ortiz? Did they pull that off or
No, they ain't pull that out.
no?
White fight Chisora.
Okay. Chisora is White should.
Ortiz told him to strap his nuts on, and
That's a scary boy. I mean, I would like to see him get a fight with AJ or even Fury for that matter.
I honestly believe in my order as far as heavyweights go, is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Luis Ortiz is the best heavyweight. I know Joshua got the belts. I'm not knocking Joshua for having the belts, but I do not think you can beat Luis Ortiz. No way possible. And Wilder barely beat him. Only reason I put Fury there is because he's still the lineal champion. He has never lost, and he had all of Joshua's belts.
I wouldn't disagree with you at all.
And that's my. I want to see Joshua finally fight one of those guys, if not all three of them. I just want to see him fight him just to prove himself, just to prove you deserve to have the belts that you have.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I hope that that same thing happens in the 147-pound division too,
Yeah,
with all the other belts being at 47 being over with Al Heyman,
yeah.
and
And
then
nobody's fight. That the welterweight division is pissing me off right now because nobody's fighting nobody.
yeah,
I don't want.
and you got Keith Thurman who's just not fighting. Period. So
I don't think he's gonna come back to the sport. He still ain't been cleared by his doctors yet.
I think he will, but when he comes back, he's gonna have a couple fights against some lower level competition, step up, and then but by that time it's just gonna be too late. And I hate to say it because I think Thurman's number two in that division to me.
Errol Spence #1 to me.
No, Terrence Crawford's #1.
You take Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is #1 pound for pound. I
Which
still
would
take
mean
Errol
he's
Spence.
#1 in that division, right?
Even when you go into all the rankings, they don't have him #1 in the division. They have Keith Thurman #1 and Errol Spence #2, but
But
they
they,
have him pound for pound.
yes, that's
But
weird.
as far as the division, because he just moved up in it, and he hasn't proven himself in the welterweight division yet. Jose Benavidez, you can't say he proven himself against Jose Benavidez when Jose Benavidez was still hurt. I said he was hurt before the fight. I didn't think he should take that fight
But
right there.
Jose, but let me just say, but Jose was tough though. Honestly, he
He,
he he showed a hell of a lot more than I expected.
he was tough, but he was fighting on one leg, so that turned him into a counterpuncher the entire fight. That ain't how Jose Benavidez fight. Him and his brother fights the same, and they will stalk you the entire fight and cut the ring off. He turned himself into a counterpuncher that fight and did more body punches than anything. Which well, he does a lot of body work, but and he hurt Terrence Crawford in the body a couple times in that fight. But
But listen, and I wish somebody would actually try to stop Terrence Crawford.
you wish they would.
I wish they would try to stop that man. And I'll
That's
be
why.
honest, a little bit of it is biased too because we're cool and I've spent time with him in camp and whatnot.
But see,
Um,
I like Bud. I'm a Bud fan.
and I like Earl. I mean, I'm a big fan of Earl. There's a buddy of mine. He moved out to Dallas. He lives in Dallas now. Um, Trains at the same gym that Earl does. That's his favorite. That's his favorite fighter. So we kind of always jaw back and forth about the two. But I mean, I just personally think what separates the two is Terrence's skill.
Yeah,
Terrence's skill. I mean,
Terrence is more of a slick fighter than Earl. Earl is
and Earl's a
Earl would
body
take a blow
he's a
to give
body
a blow.
snatcher. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's a body
he's a body
snatcher
slam.
for sure. But I think if they ever fight, I mean, Earl's gonna try to just chase him down and stalk him down, and Bud's gonna keep moving and countering, moving and countering, moving and countering until he catches him.
You might be right, but it like
But it'd be a great fight.
my boy 78 say the fight is a 56. What he say? He said a 54-46 fight, and he said Earl is 54, Crawford is 46, but it can still go either way.
Yeah, yeah. You can't, I mean, either way, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, you really can't. I mean, but I think like let's say it was able to ever have that fight, the crowd's going to be split 50-50. You don't really know what's going on. The betting odds are going to be they should damn near be deadlocked straight down the middle. It's that good of a fight. But I just got my own opinion. Like I said, I think Terrence will definitely pull it off.
Yeah,
And that man is he's just a dog. He's a dog. Like, and he's a real one. Like, he's not. He don't play like he don't play that John back and forth nonsense and blah blah blah.
nah,
He's a dog. He's about that life.
he is. And I agree. He is.
So
And that's my issue is why I think him and Earl not fighting because they're not vocal enough, and they let their management do all the talking.
yeah, that's another thing. But I mean, I think they'll fight. I just hope it doesn't end up like a Mayweather Pacquiao situation to where it's like
Oh
two.
man, I swear I hope not. Cause Earl, I mean not Earl. Terrence, he's 32. He don't got many more years left
Yeah,
in his prime.
he's ready to go now. I mean,
Yeah,
so if you want that work, you got to step up.
yeah. And Jay
What
Good said, where do you think Triple G goes from here?
a good question. Not
Because
too
he was
sure.
supposed he actually was supposed to fight uh, Ryota Murata if he'd won.
Yeah, but I mean now, I mean honestly, Triple G's he'll end up taking the biggest fight out there that he could possibly take. Who that
And
is, I'm not too sure. Probably Charlo deserves it. Charlo
That's
definitely
what
deserves it.
they mandated it, but he picked somebody who hadn't fought in 2 years and finally get a fight where he got to defend his title and lost it last night.
Yeah, see, there you
I,
go. See,
I don't I don't understand that. I really don't understand that.
it's just gonna
How
be
he
it's just gonna be about what sells right now for Triple G. He's gonna take the biggest payday he can get, the biggest fight he can get, just with the biggest name. It doesn't matter.
cash out
Doesn't matter who
trying
it
to
is.
retire.
Yeah, And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he didn't follow Canelo to 168.
I think he is. I think that's what he want to do. But
Go up to
Canelo,
68.
yeah, the Oscar De La Hoyas came out and said yesterday that he's gonna have to take whatever offer. They already have a set price for him.
I did
So
see that. Oscar's just feeling himself a little bit because Canelo got that contract.
yeah.
You know.
Well, since they won that fight, they can dictate them.
Yeah, but I honestly I don't see that fight happening again. I don't see either of them taking that fight again.
I hope it don't, because I'm tired of watching the fight.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great fight, but yeah, I'd rather
No,
see
I'm not.
other ways.
Yeah, it was. It was better than I thought it was gonna be.
So let me ask you a question, just because this was on my mind.
Okay, that's the way.
Pacquiao Broner. What do you
I
think of that fight?
I think that's actually gonna be a good fight, and I I swear I hope Brown let his hands go, because if he let his hands go, he got a chance to beat Pacquiao. But if he fights like he's fought his life, if he fights like he's been fighting since he got beat by McDonough, he's gonna lose, and it's not even gonna be close. He's gonna lose. But if he actually wakes up, get himself together, and goes back to the original Adrian Broner and let his hands go and actually fight his fight, I don't think Pacquiao got a chance, because Adrian Broner is just as fast, if not faster than Pacquiao, and I know he's got power. I know he's got power.
I would agree. I just the biggest thing with that is that I find myself saying a lot like, oh, if Broner goes back, if Broner does this, if he
Yeah,
does that, it's just not going to
it's
happen.
too many ifs.
It's just
Yeah,
not going to
I
happen.
actually said that on my post on IG. Man. I posted about it on IG, and I said, hey, only way Adrian win this fight if he let his hands go. But I'm not going. If I had to put my money on it, I'm taking Pacquiao.
Yeah, I personally, I think Pacquiao stops him when they fight.
And if he does, I think Adrian Broner needs to retire after that.
Yeah, he should definitely retire. I mean he when he like again when he fought Adrian Granados, I mean I really thought he lost that fight. You know,
Yeah.
his own hometown and people in Cincinnati thought he lost that fight.
And to be honest with you, he should have beat Jesse Vargas. That shouldn't even been a questionable fight. It shouldn't even been a draw. He should have really beat the hell out of Jesse Vargas.
He should have. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He should have. But again, we're talking about Adrian Broner. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, you're right.
The guy, and it's nothing against him personally. Like I've spent time with him too. That's actually how I met Adrian Granados. Was so there's a notorious sparring partner, that guy that spars in everybody's camp. His name's Hector Munoz. Um, he was out here in camp with us with Mike Alvarado for a little bit. So he was in camp with Adrian Broner in Colorado Springs. So I drove up just to say what's up, see how he was and whatever. And Granados was rooming with him. So that's how I met Granados. Um, and this was actually on Thanksgiving. So I had went up there, I was hanging out with him, whatever. And that's when the first time I met Broner. I was just like, oh, hey, what's up? Told the guys, like, I'm out, I'm leaving. And Broner was just so cool. He's like, you ain't going nowhere. He's like, you staying here, you having Thanksgiving with us, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I got the whole room rented out, like, whatever. He's like, you're with us now. So he's a super cool guy, always hella cool, like, as a person, as an individual. But when it comes to his boxing career, might be time to call it.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. And Adrian, bro, I actually like dude.
Yeah,
There's
he
something wrong with his mentality. Matter of fact, Ronald Finkel just says Broner got some serious mental and physical work to do. I think Pac wakes him up and to actually work, and he would have to wake him up to actual work that he's gonna have to put in.
I hope so. I mean, I hope he just doesn't view Pacquiao as an old fighter, and just because Mayweather beat him that he can. Because again, we'll go back to the what ifs. If Adrian Broner actually shows up, he could maybe even easily just dismantle an old Pacquiao.
Jay Good also said if they don't get Chisora, Zill's gonna be next, talking about Dillian White. He also called Jose Benavidez Pig Leg Pablo. And
I,
here's Ron Flicker said, what was you say?
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say Ortiz versus Dillian would help Eddie Hearn's own promo. Did you peep Clarissa Shields fighting on Aiden Hearn Metro for the next fight, and then Mike contact the zone separately from her? I did. I did see she's supposed to be fighting on Big Baby Miller's fight on the 17th
Mm-hmm.
on the undercard. So we'll see. If she signed with the zone, she's doing what's best for her career. I'm not gonna knock her because they passing out the bag to everybody right now.
Oh yeah, that's facts. And she's gonna get some good fights too because I see women's boxing starting to creep up just a little bit even more.
Yes,
Um, People are starting to pay attention to it, and the promoters are actually giving them opportunities to be seen. So I
and
definitely see it creeping up.
I've always liked women boxing. Actually, I'm gonna tell you, was it Christy Morton is the female boxer that got me to watching women boxing. I don't know. I was watching some on HBO one day, and I saw her fighting and beating the hell out of somebody. And I told myself, I got to find out whenever she fighting, 'cause she was a monster in the ring.
I
And
had
then
stopped
I
watching women's boxing for a while too until I had taken a kid out to fight um, at the it was in Carson, California. I forget the name of the venue. It's where the LA Galaxy play. The soccer team plays. I'm sorry. Um, StubHub Center. Um, and I ran into this girl, Senencia Estrada, female fighter.
yeah,
Well, first off, I
I
just
know.
fell in love because she's absolutely fucking gorgeous. She could fight, and I was excited. I went out there and watched her fight, and ever since then, I was kind of following, just kind of started looking at women's boxing a little differently. Just started watching it a little more, and I think what got me into that was women's MMA because the women's MMA is super exciting, very
Yes, it
exciting.
is. Yes, it is. Matter of fact, if you get a chance, go check out PK Boxing and MMA on YouTube, and also check out Coach Harris MMA. They talk about it all the time. They actually helping me learn more about the MMA sport because I hear him talking about like all week. I've been hearing him talking about Cyborg, and I guess she got a fight coming up. So
Yeah, she's fighting Amanda Nunes, which she's the because Cyborg's the 145-pound champ and Nunes is 35-pound champ. So they're gonna
man,
do like a unification fight. That's gonna be a really good fight because they're both Brazilians and they both punch like men.
I like Nunez, but I don't think she's um handle
Yeah,
Cyborg.
yeah. I mean, I probably agree with you, but you know,
And I'm not even. I'm still learning the sport, but I don't think she's gonna have the Cyborg.
well, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say any woman could.
Yeah, I want to see her Ronda Rousey fight before Ronda Rousey lost.
Nah, that would have been ugly.
Very.
If Ronda did the smart thing and went over to professional wrestling.
Yeah, some fake.
She's like a goddess over there again. So yeah, she did the smart thing.
Yeah. Ronald Franklin says Rona got some serious. Oh, we already read that. He says, "I already stay ready boxing. Salute is some movement. Accounts keep grinding." He said, "Do you have a YouTube page?"
No, I do not. Not currently.
He said, "Not currently. He don't have one just yet."
Best way to keep up is via Instagram. I post a lot of the boxing, a lot about my guys and everything. So it'd be Instagram or my Facebook,
He
which
posted.
would be
I tell y'all what. After this video, I'm gonna make sure I post his Instagram in the description box so you guys can go follow him on IG. I'm gonna make sure I do that.
yeah. Keep up with me. Any questions you got, I'm afraid to ask. Conversate about it, whatever.
And I'm gonna go back and tag him in a video that I posted today for everybody to come to the interview. I'm gonna make sure I get all that together.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But man, yeah. So tell the people everything where they can find you on.
Yeah, well, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter is at Maclean Mestis. Again, my first and last name. Facebook, Chris McLean Mestis as well. I would definitely be starting up a YouTube page. I've actually been working on doing a little something, working on starting a podcast
Yeah,
myself.
that's what I was actually trying to do. Start me a podcast myself.
So yeah, so that'll be up and going. I want to say November, Mid-November is when we'll get it going. Um,
Okay. Invite me on. I'll come
oh,
on.
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. We're gonna get Stay Ready Boxing all the pub it needs, all the pub we can get it. We'll definitely have you on so we can, we can catch up on everything.
And I'll make sure anytime y'all want to come on, y'all welcome to come on the channel. Even during the week, I work a lot, but I'm for to start cutting back on those hours so much because I don't got the money I need.
It's crazy too. Like that was one of the biggest things that I had to do was being involved in the game. You really gotta invest a lot more than you initially expect.
Yeah,
So having to sacrifice the 9 to 5, regular job to actually do this. It's tough. It's definitely tough, but it's worth it.
it is, but with the way my job and the way my boss is in my job, he actually gives me whenever I just want to take off, he lets me take off.
Oh,
Give me vacation. Oh, well, I got vacation, but I'm out now. But he'll set it up where it's a manager approved day off to where I don't get in trouble for it, and he just gives me that time. So now that if I just need to start taking those times off and things like that, I'm just gonna have to, even if I gotta fly. Like if you tell me it's a fight going on in Colorado, give me a month ahead of time, and I set it up and I fly up there to come to y'all fight. I'll do that. Just as long as I
well, I'm
know
gonna
it's
let
coming.
you know right now. That's November 17th. I told you that's when Savel's fighting next, and it's gonna be out here in Colorado.
Okay, and that's right there.
So you got a little more than a month advance.
A little more than a month. I'm gonna try to make that.
Yeah, let me know. I'll take care of you. We'll get you out there. Get you in there. We'll take care of you.
All right. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna fly out there. I don't have no. Yeah.
And it's not expensive. It's not expensive to fly to Denver as well.
Okay. And I can Uber everywhere I go, so I ain't worried about it. Yeah, I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna go ahead and order my tickets now. Southwest.
And you're gonna Uber everywhere.
That's how when I go out of town, I don't drive. I hate driving. The only reason I drive here in Houston is because I got to. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't. I hate traffic. I hate just being in traffic. I hate driving in
it's
traffic. I
getting
got road rage.
and it's getting bad out here too because it's still to this day got so many people moving here. The traffic is just getting crazy.
Yeah,
Everybody wants a piece of the weed when they come out here. So
man. I already know. Yes, I already know.
it's great. Like the living expenses out here, like the price to even rent and things like that have just completely skyrocketed ever since that, probably about like 2 years ago, and it's just progressively getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
And King Diesel said, "Yeah, I follow, bro. He's not biased, but he has a great opinion, man. I appreciate it, man. I just love the sport.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Same thing too. That's why when I had contacted you, I was definitely interested because I just love the sport. Like a lot of my friends, like outside of my boxing circle, like a lot of my friends really don't watch combat sports like that. They just play basketball.
And what's crazy? It's kind of the same with me. Like my brother watches most of the fights because we like it, but he likes to watch the fight. But as far as just the boxing fan, he loves football. The only person that really like this, if you heard him in the background, no, that's him watching the game. But
Yeah,
as
see,
far
it's the same thing with me, man. Like my little brother, like he watches the sport, he watches it and gets into it for me, and because he gets a little like emotionally invested because he meets a lot of the guys that we watch and stuff like on TV and stuff. But outside of that, he's just like, I just want to go to the gym and play ball, or let's just watch the game or something.
yeah, man. And he said, "Stay ready, great exclusive. You coming up, bro? I appreciate it, bro. Retro boxing and documentaries. What's up, family? What's going on? Blood boxing, man. Go check. Go. You got to go subscribe to Retro Boxing Documentaries, bro. He has his his history, man. He keeps you up on all the history of boxing, man. He will. If it's anything you don't know from old fights, he will let you know about him. He's great.
That's the man. That's the man to talk to.
That's the man to talk to. Him and there's another guy that was on here earlier, Kurt Anderson. He be on World Breaker Boxing page. He's a great historian for the sport of boxing as well. And you got Ronald Finkley. Ronald Finkley says the weed is immaculate. Yeah, I don't want to say it on here because I do have. I
I
find
listen.
out
I don't partake, but yeah, I got a lot of friends and family that do, and they say the same thing. So
what's going on. A Weapons just joined it. He said, "Stay ready, salute, and peace to the chat room." Gifts,
yes,
man. I appreciate it, man. If y'all got any questions for him while he's in here, y'all go ahead and ask.
yeah. Shoot me a question. Don't be afraid to ask whatever.
But man, but yeah, I'm gonna try my best because I know you just told me November 17th. The reason I said, man, the November 3rd, I got to go to Jacksonville, Texas for my cousin's wedding. Then you got Thanksgiving a couple of weeks after that. I got to go back home because I'm from the country, but I am with my people. Then the weekend after that is my best friend's birthday. They want to go to LA. I'm not going to LA.
Sheesh. God
We
damn.
gonna figure something out. But
Hey, Brent, tell them just go to Denver.
yeah, that's what I might.
Like seriously, like a lot of people like, and that's another thing too. Like we get a lot of flack out here. People think Denver, they think it's just like a bunch of open space and horses running and country is all hell. A bunch of white boys wearing cowboy hats and stuff. But yeah, you could find that if you go like to the outskirts where there is nothing. But like down in the city area, like Denver's popping. You'd be
Not,
surprised. You'd be very, very, very surprised. Most people that visit here, they either end up moving here or they just don't want to leave.
yeah, I might have to make sure that I come up there because my cousin been trying to get me to come up there forever. So yeah, I am gonna make that trip up there.
And it's crazy too. If you do the on the 16th, the day before, there's another card that's gonna be that'll be going on out here as well.
Okay, I'm gonna have to see.
Yes, there'll
I
be a
got
show
one
on the
last, I
16th,
got
show on
one
the
last
17th.
vacation day. One last vacation day. I was saving it for Christmas, but yeah, I'm not going home for Christmas. I'm staying right here. I need.
Yeah, see, then you ain't got to buy all the family the gifts. So yeah, just stay right there.
Oh no, I don't. I'm too. They too old. Only people get gifts is kids.
Yeah,
That's
most
it.
definitely. I feel you on that one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Another question I had: What what was that? It literally just left my head. I'll come back to it when I think about it. It'll come to me. Where you there's also a kid that I know. I believe he's from Houston. Boxer out there. He's a 75 pounder. His name's Samuel Clarkson.
Samuel Carson. I never heard of him.
No, I
Um,
believe it's either from there or Dallas, Houston or Dallas. I can't remember offhand.
he said Samuel Clarkson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up real quick. Oh my.
I don't know why I thought it was Houston, but I wasn't sure.
Um,
Tough kid though. Oh, matter of fact, I need to throw something out there right away.
yeah.
So there's a kid that fights for PBC. That's been fighting for PBC for a while. That we've been trying to get a fight with. Manny's really not like a confrontational kind of guy. He doesn't like to call people out. He kind of just waits for those fights to come to him if they ever come. But him and this kid had a lot of banter on Twitter a while back. When Manny wasn't able to take the fight, he was actually in school getting his firefighter's license.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, the kid named he's from Texas. Is a kid named Ryan Cowboy Carl. Um, he's been running and ducking and dodging. So if you happen to catch this, Ryan, stop running. Don't be scared. Take the fight. Come get that ass whooping.
Yeah, man. If you making the call outs for your fighters, go ahead.
And that's why I like it too, because my fighters, like, again, they're real respectful. Like, they don't do that. But unfortunately in the boxing game, especially today, based off of guys like Floyd Mayweather, obviously Adrian Broner, in combat sports period, Conor McGregor, guys like that, like closed mouth don't get fed these days.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about if you've earned the spot by fighting and making it to that point. It's about if you can draw. It's about the money you bring in. It's about the eyes you bring to the TV, to the arena, and whatnot. And the majority of the time, you got to speak up for that to even happen these days. Oh my guys, they don't do that. They don't talk like that. They're very respectful. But that's kind of where I come in. Like, man, If these guys are gonna be, excuse me, if they're gonna be bitches, then we're gonna make sure you know you're a bitch.
Yeah. And
So I
I
mean,
think I know who you're talking about. Is that little short, red-headed kid?
yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him on a. It wasn't even an undercard. He was one of the early fights that you catch on YouTube from the undercard fights.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it. I seen one of his fights. I
Yeah,
was watching somebody else fight. I seen him fighting somebody else.
and
I
he
don't even
lost
know.
it. He lost his last fight to to Kevin Watts, the guy that had beat Manuel, who really shouldn't have got the win in L.A. You know, so I'm like, you know, what better way for you to redeem yourself than beating on a guy that you called a can already? That you said you would beat easy. I mean, so you know, talk to Al, talk to whoever you got to talk to. We'll come over there, like it's no problem. You just say the words in the contract, and we'll be there.
My business with you. Y'all heard it here. Uh, they want that smoke with Cole. Ryan, what'd you say? It's Ryan Cole.
Ryan, the cowboy Carl.
Ryan Cowboy Cole. They want that smoke. Everybody's they trying to get it. Man,
Yeah, like I said, man, a lot of these fighters out there, they don't want it.
I already know, man. But yeah, man, I'm about to get ready to cut this one short because I'm about to get ready to. I got to start meal prepping for the week. I don't even feel like cooking today, but I'm a meal prep for the week because I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get my weight down and get back in shape.
Hey, best thing to do: meal prep, eat good, drink a lot of water.
I'm pescatarian now. I don't even eat meat.
Uh oh.
Uh,
I
nothing
couldn't.
against it.
I couldn't help you there. I eat my meat. I need
I
it.
love fish. That's why I can't give up fish. I gave up everything else, but I can't give up fish.
The fish.
I, I even go fishing. I love two fish, so I can't.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who asked the questions, who tuned into the feed. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you go follow me. Make sure you stay following Stay Ready Boxing, and we'll see you in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And yeah, we're about to call this one. We're about to get ready to end this chat. And I do want to shout out to the whole LDBC. Oh, I got a couple more chats. It says that's funny. You said the Chris McLean. Somebody just debunked me today with the closed mouth. Don't get fed. That's real, but I believe they put some things in contracts, and these fighters are not allowed to. I think he's talking about people, not allowed to talk NDAs and things like that. And he also say talk a whole gang of crap. And he said, "Peace, everybody. Always bang new media." yeah, we are new media. We working, bro. Shout out to all new media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Shout out to the whole LDBC. I appreciate all the subscribers. I appreciate everybody that came and participated in the panel today, in the chat, the whole chat room, all the guests. I appreciate you, Chris, for coming on, man. I'm gonna have to get you on again one day. Uh, we're gonna talk more behind the scenes as well,
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
man. And I appreciate everybody and all my boxing fans and everything, man. Shout out to everybody. Y'all already know this is Mac with Stay Ready Boxing TV. You ain't gotta get ready if you stay ready. One.